RVA Today is made possible by today's sponsor.
Look at you.
Welcome back to RVA Today. I'm your host, Naomi Brackett, and today's sponsor is the William and Mary School of Business. And here to share some really interesting information about how AI is being incorporated into classrooms at William and Mary School of Business is Professor of Business, Professor Tremblay. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on the program. And what an interesting, really hot button topic you're coming in to talk about today. I feel like there's been so much discourse recently with things like ChatGPT and open AI sources coming to the public. And I'm interested to hear how you guys are starting to incorporate these tools into the classroom. Do you see this as a benefit or a hindrance to your students?
So I honestly think it's going to be a great benefit to them, but it's definitely going to change how their job is. There's no doubt that every single professional is going to be challenged by having to incorporate AI into their work. And at William and Mary, we look at it in like 3 phases. First of all, which tasks are routine and can be taken over by AI?
Okay, yeah.
Second of all, how do I collaborate with AI? And then third of all is what are the moral and operational issues around AI, which are the biggest challenge?
Yeah, we were talking backstage about how, you know, there are needs for regulations around these things, but it's so interesting also to approach these as helpful tools that students can possibly use. Do you have any specific examples of how AI has been used in your classrooms, you know, especially for some of those maybe highly technical classes that do have those background operations that can be completed by computer-generated intelligence?
So, interestingly enough, I teach a class called Machine Learning, which is a very advanced analytical tool, and in the past, this course required students to have really good technical background, good programming skills, and a math background to be able to do it. But these tools are sort of taking this part out of the equation. So to give you an example, I was reading this book called Teaching with AI, which I thought was fascinating. One of the quotes it had was, jobs are boundless tasks. And every job has tasks that can be done better by AI.
Oh, wow.
And so this is how I'm approaching my class prep. This is how I'm thinking about how to teach, right? So for example, in my class, I might have spent countless lecture hours with students explaining how to load different data types into R or Python, which is the tool that we use in my class, right? Or how to write the code that generates a regression.
Right.
But now I don't have to spend time on that. We can delegate those tasks to AI and spend more time in the interpretation of the output.
Wow.
Right? And so what's really powerful about that is that our business students have the contextual knowledge, right, to take that output, interpret it, and then make stories out of that data for much more insightful decision making. And I think that's really exciting. So we've removed a barrier to business students and allow them to use these really advanced tools to make really insightful decisions.
That's awesome. As a way to really further thinking in education, spend more time on the kind of cognitive processes that are less procedural.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we used to really focus on like, you need to memorize and you need to learn procedurally. Now it's more critical thinking. It's really changed how we teach.
So interesting. Now I know that this is true not only for students in the classroom, but we're also looking at kind of a changing face of business as a whole. How are you kind of guiding some of your executive MBA students towards careers that incorporate AI?
So what's interesting is that we can't make the assumption that we can now just put everything in an AI tool and take the output. Everybody has access to those tools, right? So that's not going to give you any sort of advantage.
Right.
What's going to give you the advantage is the ability to engage with an AI, converse with an AI, prompt the AI, revise the output to a point where you have a really insightful decision-making tool, right? So you are collaborating with an AI tool almost like you have a work associate, right? That you can bounce things off of.
It's so interesting to think of them almost like a colleague.
Right, but the humans are still adding this special sauce, right? We still know empathy. We know morally what's correct or not correct. We know critical thinking. We know biases, right? And machines still do not. They might soon, but they still do not. So I think that that's the extra tool, the extra power that these tools bring, but we have to teach students how to use this, because they will be at a disadvantage if they don't know how to use these AI
Well,
tools.
I think it's so fantastic that you and others in higher education are really thoughtfully approaching these tools to see how they can be advantages to students, and, you know, and also acknowledging the regulations and caution needed around these things.
Right.
If you are interested in learning more about AI in the classroom, or if you're interested in becoming a student at the William and Mary Raymond A. Mason School of Business, you can do that by going to mason.wm.edu for more information. Thank you so much, Professor Tremblay.
Thank you. I loved being here.